Hey, horror fans, welcome back to another episode of Terror Talk where I discuss creepy clips online. The original horror music that you hear in these videos is composed by me. Now imagine being able to save on everyday expenses and put that money towards your next horror movie outing, spooky decor, or haunted carnival excursion. Be sure to watch all the way through as I have something that will help feed your next horror adventures. Now let's get into it and have some fun.
I'm currently 20 years old, although at the time of the story I was 19. I live in Newark, Delaware, a usually small and quiet town. That is, until college season rolls around in the fall and spring. Newark is home to the University of Delaware, which is a large and widely respected school in the US. It also has a reputation for being a big party school. So when the college kids arrive, things get a lot more lively. Anyway, I work as a bicycle delivery guy at Jimmy John's, a job I still work as of me telling the story. This event took place during a Tuesday or Wednesday night in the spring. It was either late April or early May. I can't remember exactly.
Have you ever had a food delivery job? Let me know in the comments below. For me personally, I never have, and it would just be too much wear and tear on the car, but yeah, let me know if you've ever had a food delivery job in the comments.
It was my typical 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. shift. The Jimmy John's I work at is open until 2 on the weekdays and 3 on the weekends. This means we're one of the few places still open in town, aside from the bars. So a lot of drunk college kids storm the place wanting to order. Needless to say, it gets pretty hectic. Deliveries would pop up like crazy too, which did get very annoying, but it meant a lot of tips, so I always put up with it. This was my last night working the shift. Just as 2 a.m. was about to roll around, one last delivery came in, and I was next in line to take it. This annoyed me as I just wanted to end my shift and go home to get some sleep. I sucked it up and took the delivery since I didn't have a choice. I knew the street by heart and knew where to go immediately. I should mention the reason we do bicycle deliveries is because the roads tend to be busy sometimes during college season, so using bicycles sometimes allows us to do deliveries faster. I rode my bike as fast as I could to the house in less than 10 minutes. I knocked on the door loudly, but there was no answer. I knocked again, louder this time. Still nothing. I became a little pissed when I remembered if someone didn't come out, I'd have to take the order back to the store, meaning this delivery would seriously be wasting my time. I called the number on the receipt, but no one answered. I was getting ready to call the store when I first heard it. Rustling sounds coming from some bushes directly across the street from me. I figured it was probably the wind, but decided to look anyway. When I did, I felt my stomach drop as a strong sense of dread flowed through me. I saw the dark figure of a person directly across the street from me in someone's yard, crouched behind a few bushes. And even though I couldn't make out any facial features, I knew that he or she, though I figured it was a he, was looking right at me.
That would be a pretty terrifying situation to find yourself in, wouldn't it? Let me know in the comments, what would you do in this situation? Because I'm not sure what I'd do. Would it be good to flee or something else? I really don't know because, it just seems like it would be really hard to make a decision in that moment what to do, I feel like. But it sure would be terrifying because this isn't normal at all. A normal situation at all, just someone kind of lurking and hiding across the street. Because this is clearly a setup, but I think that I would try to get the hell out of there, honestly. Especially if I was on a bike, because you can pretty much outbike someone if they're on their feet. But that's just my opinion.
My heart was racing, but it didn't seem like he noticed that I noticed him. I pretended to not notice him and knocked loudly on the door again. Still, there was no answer. I began to grow more and more panicked, wondering whether or not this could be a trap. I did a quick glance, and the person was still crouched behind the bushes, watching me. I just wanted to get the hell out of there, so I decided to just continuously knock on the door as loud as possible until someone answered. It felt like hours that I was knocking, but eventually someone stumbled out from one of the rooms and sluggishly answered the door, sounding pissed. When I told him about the order, he told me that he didn't order, so that it was probably his roommate instead. To my misfortune, the person who actually ordered was upstairs in his room, passed out drunk. How he could have passed out so quickly after he ordered is still beyond me. The guy went upstairs to try and get him. Not even a minute after he went upstairs, I suddenly heard more rustling and did a quick glance back. When I did, I noticed the man had moved a little closer, probably to get a better view of me. I could tell he was still watching me. My fear intensified. I almost wanted to come inside to get away from the man watching me, but I figured he'd steal my bike, meaning I couldn't do my job anymore. Plus, I didn't know if this person was armed and if he would actually try something if I went inside, which would put the two of them in harm's way. Luckily, he was only upstairs for a minute. He said his roommate's door was locked and that he wouldn't answer the door when he knocked. At this point, I really wanted to get out of there, so I told him he could sign for his roommate's order. He hesitated at first since there wasn't a tip charged to the order, but a tip was the last thing I was thinking about at this point. I insisted over and over, and eventually he signed for his roommate. I handed it to him and gave him a quick thank you. When he shut the door, I hurried to my bike and hopped on, ready to get the hell out of there. But just as I put the kickstand up, I heard the man suddenly lunge out from behind the bushes. I quickly turned to my left and saw that man was now dashing towards me. I was able to see he was wearing what looked like jeans, boots, and a black hoodie with the hood over his head, and what I think was some sort of mask on his face, as I could only see his eyes. And although I'm not 100% on this, it looked like he was holding a blade in one of his hands.
Dang, this is terrifying, isn't it? Imagine just having someone coming lunging at you in the darkness like that, and I'm honestly not sure that I would have stuck around that long, honestly. I've been like, screw this shit, and then gotten on my bike and rode away. Because, yeah, I don't know, I feel like I would have just, been forget this order, and just taken off. But, you know, maybe he did handle it the best that he could have. But this would be terrifying, a terrifying thing to find yourself in, wouldn't it?
I knew I had to act quick. I couldn't bang a U-turn because he'd probably catch me before I could get away. To make matters worse, all the surrounding streets led to dead ends. My only chance was to head to a bike trail that was nearby. Even though it wasn't lit up and I didn't have a light on my bike, I knew it would be my only chance. I pedaled faster than I ever had before onto the pitch black trail and rode it, all while looking out for shadows and listening for footsteps. Luckily, the trail wasn't long and I knew it by heart. Still, I was extremely paranoid by this point, and I got startled whenever I heard any noise at all. I didn't see the man while I was on the trail, however, and I made it back to the store safely. I was hyperventilating like crazy as I tried to wrap my head around what the hell just happened. I didn't tell my boss or coworkers, nor did I call the police since I didn't get a good look at the man. I simply got my stuff, clocked out, and went to my car, putting my bike in the trunk, so thankful I decided to drive that night. I made it home safe without anyone following me. That was that. I never saw the man again. I don't know what he wanted, whether he wanted to rob me or worse. I haven't worked another midnight shift since then. Now I carry nunchucks on me whenever I do any kind of night shift. Newark isn't known for being a dangerous town, so the fact that this happened here truly showed me that anything can happen anywhere, to anyone at any time, no matter how safe or dangerous the area may be.
Yeah, and that's a good point. That even if an area seems really safe, that doesn't make it immune for bad things to happen. And quite frankly, he really thought quickly on his feet in this situation and rode down that trail, but it would also be scary riding that trail at night. But apparently he said that he knew it by heart, so maybe not as scary, not nearly as scary if you actually know the trail. But yeah, it's just either way, I think it would be a very terrifying situation to find yourself in. Just, that's pretty intense, having someone chase after you, trying to attack you, when you're just trying to deliver a damn pizza. But I thought this was definitely a creepy story, and I hope you enjoyed my music and the commentary, and also be sure to check the description below because I am giving you a very easy way to start saving some money for your next horror activities and adventures, because we all know how expensive everything has gotten lately, but this is just a really cool opportunity to help you out and start saving and maybe even making some more money. But yeah, be sure to check that out, and I will see you in the next video.